Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, a few bits of news to discuss, and of course, a match preview that we're going to try and squeeze in ahead of Celtic's visit to Easter Road tomorrow night. It's the penultimate game of the season. We're almost there. It's been a fantastic campaign, but we need to end it off on a high after what's been a dodgy few weeks. Hello, welcome back. As always, it's nice to see you. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. It would be much appreciated. Today we've got a few things to try and cover. We've got the awards that have rolled in for Celtic to discuss and react to. We've got that mini match preview that we're going to try and squeeze in at the end. And we've also got some news in relation to John Kennedy, with him being linked away from Celtic. Yesterday it was Ange to Spurs. Today it's John Kennedy to Hearts. We can't catch a break here. Listen, before I even discuss the story, once again, as I always do, pinch of salt stuff. Take it as you will. Don't overreact. And, you know, I got a comment yesterday in the video saying, why are you even giving this sort of thing airtime? Why are you wasting your breath on it? And to be honest, I agree with that. I feel like these are stories that, without the actual fine details and the certainties being around them, they're a waste of time. But it's something to discuss. There are eventualities that eventually... That's what an eventuality is, right? Eventually, we're probably going to have to discuss these things properly when they happen. So... yeah, we're going to talk about it anyway. We're going to look at what's been said, because Hearts are eyeing up John Kennedy as one of the potential candidates as their next manager. So the Daily Record published this afternoon with the headline, John Kennedy under consideration for Hearts as Celtic coach goes head-to-head with Steven Naismith. The Celtic assistant is highly rated and attracting interest to be Tynecastle's, the Tynecastle club's new head coach. That was what was published by the Record this afternoon. He's apparently one of the top candidates. Could he be the main rival to Steven Naismith for this Hearts job in the summer? Is it time for John Kennedy to take on his first proper managerial role? Is Hearts an interesting one for him to take? You know, you got to remember here that they're one of the top sides in the country, a side that will be in European football, a side that have been now in European football for a couple of years, constantly challenging for third place. Is this the attractive offer that maybe John Kennedy has been waiting for? The article goes on to say Hearts are considering a move for John Kennedy as their next boss, with the highly rated Celtic assistant on their managerial target shortlist. So Steven Naismith, of course, the name alongside him, and maybe some others. That goes on to say the odds are stacked against them to finish third, but Kennedy has come into the thinking of sporting director Joe Savage and club chief Anne Budge. The 39-year-old has been a key member of the Celtic coaching staff under Brendan Rodgers, Neil Lennon, and now Ange Postecoglou. Kennedy's work hasn't gone unnoticed, and Hearts' fierce rivals Hibs made an approach to take him as their manager a few years ago. So it's not the first time that we've spoke about the possibility of John Kennedy taking on his own managerial role at a different club. Of course, Hibs approaching him those years ago. There was also talk, remember, when Aberdeen were looking for a manager, that John Kennedy was one of the candidates that was maybe being looked at. But alas, through all of that, he has remained at Celtic. He's been the trusty number two to Ange Postecoglou since he came in the door, and he's obviously been the number two at Celtic for quite a while now. Since the departure of Chris Davies in 2018, you know, it's been John Kennedy. It's been the assistant manager of the club. He's also been a coach at the club for many a year now, after obviously a very difficult playing career. He's Celtic through and through. I have a lot of admiration for John Kennedy. I've always said that in this channel. I've always liked him, always enjoyed the man himself as a coach, as a character. He's someone who I think is very valuable to the backroom at Celtic, and he's one that I'd love to see stay at Celtic. I don't want to see him move on. I don't want to see him go to Hearts, especially. But is this the kind of offer that might be too tempting should they come calling? Of course, we don't know the exacts and the fine details as to where in the shortlist John Kennedy lies, if he's top of the list, if he's a little bit further down. All we know is that Anne Budge has him on that shortlist for the Hearts job this summer. Obviously, Stephen Naismith has expressed interest in having that job. He'll be looking to put an impressive account of himself forward in these last 2 games to try and get that job. Honestly, I just hope it's anyone ahead of John Kennedy. I would love to see him stay at Celtic. I've always been a big fan of him. But you couldn't blame him if this was now the opportunity and the chance that he takes to move on. Yeah, we all hate Hearts. I hate Hearts. We all do, right? We know that. We don't want to see a Celtic man go to Hearts, but this is a massive opportunity if it comes calling. And I think it's the kind of one that I would be prepared to see him go. I think that I wouldn't be surprised, but I certainly hope it doesn't happen, because of course that then throws a spanner in the works behind the scenes. I think it's one that could be easily fixed. I don't think it's one we'd have to panic over. You know, we have a really good coaching team at the moment with obviously Gavin Strachan being there and Harry Kewell as well. You can imagine one of those guys moving into the number 2 role, or maybe a new number 2 coming in. But we would be able to replace him. We would be able to move forward. But I think that a lot of credit has to go to John Kennedy. I think we've got to remember that, because he was someone that a lot of people wanted to see leave the club. A lot of people wanted him and Gavin Strachan out alongside Neil Lennon back in that COVID season. But we kept him. He stayed. And he's been a very vital part of this rejuvenation at Celtic. And he's someone who's probably helped bridge this kind of continuity of success between the old side under Brendan Rodgers and the new side under Ange. He's one of the very few faces left from that era. And Ange has been very vocal on how important John Kennedy has been and how influential he's been behind the scenes. And we've heard so many stories about how good a coach he is and how valuable he is in Lennoxtown. So he's someone I really don't want us to lose. I think it's one that we're just going to have to watch with a keen eye and see how things go. Remember, he knocked back Hibs, apparently, and maybe knocked back Aberdeen. We don't know. I don't know the exact conversations that went on, of course. I would hope that he would knock back Hearts as well to stay here. I think he's someone who has been very clear on loving to manage Celtic. One day had that kind of brief opportunity at the end of that nightmare season, but he'd love to manage us properly. Is the opportunity for that going to come through moving elsewhere and proving himself as a manager somewhere? Maybe it is, but yeah, it's one we're going to have to watch with time. It's one we're going to have to watch develop. I hope that he's still at Celtic next season, but we'll see where the story goes. Talking about managers, why don't we talk about our own award-winning manager, Ange Postecoglou, who this afternoon was named SPFL Premiership Manager of the year after what has been a tremendous campaign, despite what some are saying over the last couple of weeks. A tremendous campaign. He was named that award winner this afternoon, which is great for him. We'll come on to the other award that we won in a moment, but no surprise whatsoever. I think it was an easy one to guess. It was one that we all expected to see, and one that is well and truly deserved. Some good competition, of course. Stephen Robinson was down for the PFA Manager of the Year award. He had a fantastic campaign, but I think to say that Ange isn't Manager of the Year would be very, very criminal. A man who's won the League Cup, the League, potentially the Scottish Cup as well in a couple of weeks' time. It's a man who deserves every award under the sun this year. He is by far the best manager in the country, and no one comes close. And it's good to see him get the awards to acknowledge that. Ange reacted on Sky Sports News to winning the award. He said it's great recognition for everyone involved. Manager of the Year is a recognition of the work all the staff have done to prepare the players for the challenges ahead. I couldn't be prouder or happier with the whole group. It's been an outstanding season, and then obviously talking about the success of last season, building on that as well. But nice to see him give credit to everyone involved, the likes of John Kennedy, who we've just spoke about. It's a real team effort at Celtic right now, and since Ange just came through the door, we've seen that, haven't we? We've seen every Manager of the Month award. He's brought staff into the photographs. He's made it a whole team thing. It's not about him. It's not him himself being the Manager of the Month or the Manager of the Year or whatever. It's everybody who helps make him and make Celtic as good as they are. And he's a real top fella, as we all know. I mean, don't need to tell you that by now, but nice to see him acknowledge everyone involved with the coaching staff and such. And hopefully it's not the end of awards for Ange, with the other ones up for grabs. And then going forward next year, hope to see him sweep them all. Talking about sweeping them all, Kyogo was named Scottish Premiership Player of the Season. Once again, no surprises, well deserved. 25 goals in 34 SPFL appearances this season. He has been unbelievable, well and truly deserves it. I don't think anyone comes close to the level of Kyogo this season. From start to finish, he has been on the ball, scoring goals, important, critical to our style of play. So well done to Kyogo, well done to Ange. Another couple of awards to add to the list this season. So finally, mini match preview time. Hibs tomorrow night at Easter Road, a game which Celtic must win. Let's get all of this criticism, doubt and just overly critical analysis out the way. Let's win convincingly, let's do a job on them. Look, it's not an easy game. Easter Road is a tough place to go, but Ange has shown that we can win there. So I hope that we do win there tomorrow night. Controversial. I hope we win there. Yeah, it's one of those ones. As I said in the last match preview video, what is there really to preview? We are now 37. No, this will be the 37th game of the season. It's the last away game. It's the penultimate game of the season. If you haven't grasped how we take these games by now, then you've not watched us enough this season, evidently. I think that we'll play our strongest side. I think that it'll be a typical Celtic performance, but we need to learn from these wee mistakes that we've been making over the past few weeks. We need to be defensively more solid. And without Cameron Carter-Vickers and Alistair Johnson, we have struggled. There's no denying that. We have struggled. But, you know, we need bigger performances because Ralston proved the whole of last season. Last season, he proved how good he can be. Bring that Ralston back. Kobayashi needs to take these chances. Don't let the pressure get to him. Awata, if he's playing at centre-half, he needs to take the best of these chances as well. Impress the Celtic fans. Get them all on side. It's not the time to put the foot down, take the foot off the gas. And it's about putting the foot down and going for it full strength. And with all of our ability, rather than the sliver of ability that we have shown in some of our past few games. But I'm confident we'll get the job done. I hope we score lots of goals. Is there call for rotation? I don't know. We've obviously got 2 games left after this. The last game of the season at the weekend. Then the cup final the following week. But we're fine. We don't need to overly rotate, etc, etc. Just get the job done, Celtic. Of course, tomorrow it's not on the telly. Sky Sports have declined the opportunity to televise Hibs versus Celtic tomorrow night. So don't ask me how to watch it. Don't ask me. I don't want to do myself in here. Hopefully everybody can find a way or such. And hopefully we can see Celtic beat Hibs. Right, that does it for today then. Oof, it could have been a lot longer, this video, but I've decided mini match preview. I'm not going through 11 predictions. I'm not going through score prediction. Got to go 2-1 Celtic. Yeah, that'll do us for today. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time.